So I'm really excited about today. I know I always say that, but this is the most important day so far, ever. For me, personally. For me. This is my most important day ever so far. Because I'm going to quit pretending like I don't know what I'm talking about. That's over. Okay? That's over. That's over. If I try to do it again, just say, you're in your lower self, and remember we gave that up last Sunday. Okay? So I wanted to share some energy with you. I'm bringing back from the board retreat. As a matter of fact, there's no screen, so we'll do it in a minute. But I wanted to share with you the consciousness of our board and what we've been doing and holding in prayer for you all, our visioning, our process. And I did a process I learned many years ago, and where we first said, God, what is your vision for this ministry? What do you want? What does God want to do through us? Not what do we want, which is how a lot of us want to do, right? What does my ego want and all this and that? No, we said, first, God, what's your vision? And then we lived with that for a couple of weeks. We said what it was, and then our vice president, Mark Biebermeyer, created an image, and I'd love to show it to you. Do you mind just moving the screen down? I know it's out of order and everything, but it just feels right to do it because I'm talking about it. And then we came to the board retreat yesterday, and then we went over the rest of the vision, and we said, if God's vision's real big, what do we need to release to have this vision made manifest? And as we put these up here, we realized that we were speaking for the collective. Everything that wants to be released, we're speaking for this group, right? So here's Mark's image. Mark, why don't you just come up here? It's time to share the platform. Why don't you come up? Can you all see it? Can you see it? So I use this orange one. And I wanted him to say a word about it because he got an image what we discussed.
So we, in our visioning, we talked about what is ours to do and what does this place mean to us. And there were words and there were also images that came to mind. And as everybody on board was speaking to them, images came to my mind, and I ended up creating this. As my background, I used the Council of the Four Fires photograph that was put on Facebook, where all the ancestors were envisioned in orbs. And so the ancestors were represented, and the Tree of Souls is up in the left-hand corner. The eagle with the fish. The eagle is soaring towards prosperity, with the fish taking abundance with him with ease. In the center, of course, is the bright white light of God, and the lighthouse lens is put on top of it, which takes all that light and focuses it in a very deliberate way. All of that is grounded by our heart, which we all bring to this service and to the church. Down here is a touchstone, which is a stone you keep in your pocket as a reminder, to remind you of something. So that was one of the things. And the word remind, not remind, but remind, remember. And then we do our meditations, and inside our meditation is that sphere of God that we all hold within each of us. So that was what brought this, and then the rays of light shining out as we take this out into the world. That was my vision for this.
Isn't that beautiful? Well, great, right? And here, can you see the words? We are one, love to all, transforming souls through love, be known through love, including our ancestors, and remind. I love all of those words. Aren't those beautiful? Right? So those were words that your board that you elected said, this is God's vision for us. I think that's a wonder. I don't think the vision could get any higher than that. Right? So then we said, what do we need to release, And anybody else want to release judgment and fear? Raise your hand. Yeah, right? Prejudice, self-doubt, selfish, egotistical self-fear of giving offense, old patterns, feeling inadequate, small. We said, let's release all of that so that this grand vision can be. And then we said, what gifts do we bring? And I wanted you to see this because, again, they're speaking, they're your voice. And I thought these were beautiful. We bring loving heart, caring attitude, kindness, compassion, writing, communication, equality, strength, emotional and physical strength, emotional and physical, joy, life, light, laughter, spiritual work, evolve, fearless creativity, passion, smiles, openness, healing, leadership, humility, willingness, depth, expand. Do you feel the energy of this? Big vision, big love, big heart, friendship, I love fearless creativity, evolve, spiritual work, right? Ingenuity. This is the gifts that we bring. And then what's mine to do? To shine this light, to be of service, to lead, to support anyone in need. My daily practice, inner growth. My commitment, allowing Spirit to guide every step. Forgive others and myself daily. Be of love, be willing. And this was one of our members, be the scribe. Okay, that's Leanne. Okay, show up. That was a stretch, and we love you for accepting it. Okay, show up. Travel the road. Do it, work it. Speak right, healing. Fishes, times 3. Somebody wrote fishes because metaphysically that's ideas, okay? Exercise, physical, positive influence. Speak with my voice. Be true. Share from the heart. Let people have their journey. Unattached to results. Share my experience. Invite people I love to check it out. God forgive him, her, me, through me. Beautiful, right? Can we acknowledge our board? Yeah. So then we said, well, what we need to release, what are all these things? What are all these things? And, we kind of got that these things were aspects of what we call really the lower self, right? The lower self. Another word we often use I started walking evidently when I was writing, sorry. The lower soul. Okay, we also call that what? The ego often, right? I do think sometimes the ego gets a bad rap. We'll get to that, right? Because there's also positive aspects of the ego, right? Like saying, hey, I'm going to quit pretending I don't know what I'm talking about. You have to have a certain amount of chutzpah to say that, right? Yeah, right. But we said all these gifts, mine to do, God's vision, what's that coming from? Well, that's coming from where? The higher self. Right? That's coming from the higher self. Well, if that's true, how do we get from here to here then? You get from there to there by going through your soul. This is why we say so often, your soul is the most important thing. No matter what else you've made important, nothing compares to the soul. Your soul is the most important thing. It's the most important thing to me. The most important thing. My soul is the most important thing. Will you say that with me? My soul is the most important thing. Right? So what lives down here in the lower self? Who can tell me? Give me some words. That's the big one, right? Yep. Yeah, right. There's not enough, right? Mm-hmm. Shame, sure. Blaming, yep. Right. See how that's almost the same words that were over on our list of what we need to release? Right? Self-doubt. Comparison. You know what else? We haven't said the word. It's because we're in unity. We hate to use this word. We hate to use it. Yeah, exactly. Okay. I was giving you a hint there. Cynicism, right. Oh, apathy. That's the biggest one. Shadow, right. Who said that? Totally, right? I'm going to get you back, right? Reaction, revenge. Every movie's about this now. Right? I'm going to take him out. Whoever has the biggest gun wins. Right? Well, the fastest, car. I mean, which, nothing wrong with that stuff. And, but jealousy. You guys really want to talk about the lower self? I was ready to move on. No, what were you going to say? Who in the back had one? Helen, did you have one? What was it? Which one? Which one was perfect? Which one? Did I get it? Okay, jealousy. Good. Right. It's like we all know what the lower self is, and yet when we're in it, we completely lose any concept of spirituality whatsoever. Right? We just want to be what? Right. Right? We just want, we want to be right because here's what happens energetically, okay? So what happens is when you start working with your soul like you are right now, and you start kind of going up here and tapping into the higher self, what happens is this lower self says, oh, no, you don't. No, no, no. Remember me? Bam. And pulls us right back down here again. Remember how you were just wrong? Don't you remember that? Remember when somebody pulled over there and hit your car? Remember how wrong they were? So you get to be right about that. You remember? Yeah. Oh, yeah. And hey, how about when we shame ourselves into not being spiritual enough, right? It's like the ego, the lower self hijacks the soul wanting to move forward and expanding, right? It says, oh, no, don't get too big. Why? Because it fears annihilation. Right? Because in fact, you're not going to need this anymore. Now, if I look at the Jesus ministry, though, he didn't annihilate the lower self, he rode it. That's the donkey into the holy city, y'all. Right? It's like, I don't have to get rid of it, but it's going to have its proper place. Okay? So that's what this is. So tell me what higher self is about. We had fun with this. Tell me, get that fun with the higher self. What? Freedom? Okay. Yeah. Okay, I can't write so fast. I'm trying. What else? Peace. Good girl. Okay. And acceptance, somebody said? Absolutely. Forgiveness. We haven't said the most obvious. What? Oh, okay. How do you know this is the one I meant? No. That's actually what I meant. Okay, so, all right, Amazing Grace. You know what? I have heard so many grace stories since last week. Raise your hand if you had a grace story from last week. Right? Because we were focusing on grace. Yeah. So, okay, I had something to say, and it's totally gone. Oh, it's this. So many of us say, oh, the higher self is the soul. And I'm saying, no, the higher self is spirit. Purity, right? So the higher self is, I'm going to write this over here, never changes. Right? That's the spirit in you. Spirit, right? Pure spirit. So, we don't do forgiveness. We are forgiveness when we're here. Okay? Right? That's when we say God doesn't have power, God is power. Right? But all of these words in their inverse can show up in the ego also. All of them. All of them have their dark side. All of these have their light, right? What are these two? Exactly. So we want to be acting from the soul. So what are you here to do? What are you here to do as a soul? That is the only question really you should be asking yourself right now. And I am going to use the word should, and I did it on purpose. If it offends anybody, get over it. Sometimes should is a fine word. Can I say that? We say don't should on yourself and all that stuff. But I'm saying the word soul should be at the very forefront of your mind. If not, you are down here. There's no two ways about it. This is where the whole world lives and begs you to go also. All the time. Right? So soul is where it is happening. Soul. S-O-U-L, your soul. So right now for you, you have a soul opportunity. Your soul. What is your soul here to do? And by the way, next month we're going to do a whole series called Live Big, Your Soul is Calling. We're going to look at that each week, deeper and deeper way. It's a title I've been working with for some time. And this drawing and what I'm saying today came out of it, that your soul is really your intermediary between your lower and your higher self. Right? For me, this is a huge teaching. I've never exactly said this way. Maybe it doesn't feel huge. You look normal. But for me, this is huge. So what is then, so we look at what are we called to as an individual soul? What are we called to as a collective soul? Move into the higher, yeah. So what is Christ Church? So Christ Church Unity is a collective soul, right? Your family is a soul. So you have an individual soul, your mate, your spouse, your husband, your wife, your partner, your lover, whatever. All that's you're becoming a collective soul together, right? So what are you going to be about as a collective soul in that little home of yours? What's the soul vibration? What's the energy of that soul in your home? What's that energy? And then even at work, the people that you get put into places with at work, and we want to make it's so hard when we're in tough work situations, right? So sometimes we find, oh, this is not in resonance with my soul, and we move on. And then we say, okay, but there's a collective thing wanting to come together. What is it? What is it? So what is Christ Church Unity soul? That's the question we're in right now, really, as a ministry. I think we've been in a process. I think we've been in a death process because many things have changed. We lost a music director that so many of us loved, right? It's tough. So rather than pretending that's not happening, let's just call it what it is. It's a death process and something new is coming out, but we don't yet quite know what it is. But like we're starting to see the edges of it, and it feels good to me. Right? It feels good to me. So, the thing that came to me as my highest vision, I think we could be, is to create a world that works for everybody. Everybody, though. But just everybody. Where no one's left out, right? No one. And I really want to say it in a way I've never said before, where the people that are emaciated, we're inviting them in. The people that could stand to lose a few pounds, we're going to invite them in too. Right? Maybe the people that are white, we're going to invite them in too. Straight, we're going to invite them in too. Black, we're going to invite them in too. African American, we're inviting them in too. The Indians, the Native Americans, we're going to invite them in too. It's going to be good for them too. It's going to be good for all the kids and all the teenagers. It's going to be good for all the doctors and all the lawyers. For all the police officers and all the young black men. I'd love to see them right here together. For all the white officers, all the black officers, right? All the social workers by their clients. They might need to sit in a different row for boundary's sake, but you know what I mean. So what if we could really create a world that worked for everybody, and we started right here? Wow, how powerful would that be? You feel that? So I want to talk about one of our members, and he has no idea I'm going to do it. But almost every week he brings somebody new. I'm like, where do you find these people? I mean, I said, last week you brought a white woman, and this week you got an African-American woman. Where do you find? And then her daughter came too. And then the other day, he had some sweet little guy, and then another day an Indian guy, and another day a golf pro, and another day. I mean, I'm going, where do you meet these people? What are you doing? Well, I just tell him, this is the best. You need to be here, he says. This is a place where we grow souls, His personal mission is to change the world one soul at a time. That's John Bergstrom. So I hope you can feel that. I hope you feel from my heart to yours that appreciation. I met him on the trail. To our higher self. Right. Trail to the higher self. This is my show, Richard. Just call me. All right. So we're moving into more surrender, and it's surrender to our higher self. So that the lower just kind of starts to, fade as we go. It fades away. Right? So today I live for my soul. Will you say that with me? Today I live for my soul. So as I say that, right here today, right here, and they're recording on a camera, there are people all over the world hearing that message. I found out in over 60 countries, last year over 12,000 people saw our message, including Iraq. Iraq, did you hear that? Mongolia, what? Who in Mongolia is watching Christ Church Unity? We're like a few hundred people here. Right? In Australia, people have downloaded the message. What? Right? All over the world. You can't imagine the places. Brazil, Puerto Rico. You can't imagine the place. All over the country. Over 60 countries, 63, 64, something like that. Countries that have downloaded our message. Right? So I want to know from you, and I don't want you to answer right now. Actually, I do. Actually, I do. How willing are you to be a part of this movement of taking this soul to the next step? It'll be doing like the John Bergstroms in our community. Yeah. Right? Right? So that's what I want to, and I want to encourage you to make it about your soul, right? It's about your soul. And always, 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 and we were just talking about this at the meeting, when one soul kind of moves a little like this, the other souls start coming up too. Right? So anytime we shift in consciousness, anytime we say, oh yeah, that's right, this is about my soul, I forgot. Then somebody else goes, oh yeah, that's right, it's about my soul too. So as we move, it's how energy and consciousness work. So if I lift up, then you lift up too. And if you lift up, I lift up too. And we've seen it happen like on the staff level, we've seen it on the board level where this is a really, it's like 6 to 10 people, each of the groups. But somebody will have an insight and we'll all go, oh yeah. And everybody goes that way, right? And then we hear a good song and we go, oh yeah, I forgot that truth, right? So that's what we want to be in. So we want to take this idea, take this teaching of we create a world that works for everyone. I create a world that works for everyone. Will you say that with me? I create a world that works for everyone. That's the most important thing. Today I live for my soul. Will you say that with me? Today I live for my soul.